Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel, and welcome to Thought for Free, and welcome to the low level money making video part 2 for this year / January. Now, as I mentioned in the previous episode, one of my most viewed videos from last year was the low level money making video we made at the beginning of the year. So I thought, what better way to start this year than to do it again and do it better and do it twice. So welcome to the second part, where we're going to go a little bit more into the skilling side. The previous episode, the majority of that was actually like non-members. You can kill all those monsters in non-members and use magic note paper. You can't use aggression potions in non-members, but for the majority of the money making, you can actually do that in free to play. Now, most of this video is going to be pay to play and pay to play methods, but let's get started and let's get cracked on. For the first one, you won't be surprised, it's going to be Stonewall Segments. Now, Stonewall Segments, I'm sort of recommending this because it's a fantastic way to make profit. It's roughly going to be about 6.5 mil profit per hour, which is crazy for an account which can do this literally starting fresh. Now, what you're going to have to do is start the quest New Foundations, but you don't need to get too far. You don't actually need to complete the quest, although it's very recommended you do because it will be a very good place to skill on like World 84 for portables to progress your accounts as well. Now, with the completion of a quest, you can actually buy the supplies from Big Bill, like we just did there. And per day, you can buy 250 limestone for an incredibly cheap price. Now, what you need to do for this is just go to the stone cutter here, and then you can turn these into Stonewall segments using 4 limestone bricks per Stonewall segment. Now, what I'll do is just bankroll quickly so we can price check the actual price of limestone. But as you can see, when we traded Bill, there were no more than 20 GP each, which it really is an incredible price. Like, it's so cheap, and even if you don't have the price to go and buy some limestone from the Grand Exchange, you can use this 250 from Big Bill, which you can get every day for a price of about 20-21 GP each. Turn these into Stonewall segments, and then you've got enough of a starter cash to build up from there. Now, currently as it stands, you've just seen there 1.5k per sort of like limestone brick, which is a little bit on the expensive side, but if you were to do the limestone from Built every day, it won't take you long to actually build up quite a substantial cash stack just from doing that every day and just from sort of like building that up. One thing I do recommend as well, if you're looking to buy items from Built, he also sells planks and logs. What I would do with those, buy all the planks, buy all the logs, and then turn them into frames. They will be very slow to sell for a while, but you can make a huge amount of profit from those frames. So what we saw before, 6k in terms of limestone bricks, and 13.1k is what you can sell the Stonewall segment for, which you're making 7k per Stonewall segment, which is pretty huge. Bill is also useful for a couple of things as well. Things like bolts of cloth and all of these nails can actually sell for profit, so it can be a decent store to buy out of if you do have the time and if it works in terms of GP. Again, check prices when you go and sell your Stonewall segments, and if it's profit, just buy it because it's just cheap, just because it's easy money to have. And we want all those kind of easy money making methods throughout the sort of daily sort of environment, because it just means it's going to be more profit for you guys to have very, very quickly. But I would really suggest this, especially if you're level 1 construction. You can get to a very decent construction level just by doing this and then also doing the quest. The quest has got me 50 construction on numerous accounts, and then from there I go and do frames, and I've built, I think 2 or 3 of the sort of starter accounts we've done have been built from creating frames, selling frames as well, but Stonewall segments is definitely not something to ignore. So for the next method, something which was very good last year, it's not as good as what it was. It has sort of dropped down to about 2.2 mil per hour. It's actually blessing extra fine sand. Now, this took a massive hit in terms of when the Infinite Portal was released with the Gates of Eladinis. A lot of the extra sand came into the game. And I do think because of how AFK it is, a lot of people have clicked on that this is a really good way to both like train low level prayer and also make significant AFK GP. Now, what you basically do with this is you take your extra fine sand, you go to an altar. It can't actually be the altar in the 4th Room Free, which is actually really annoying. But you take it to an altar and you sort of sit here and bless the sand. Now, in terms of XP, you're going to get 7 XP per sand. At a low level, this can actually be a decent-ish AFK way while making profit. The main thing you're here for is the profit, but a little bit of prayer XP won't hurt either. And this is pretty much what you do for a minute at a time. So it isn't an intensive method to make money. It is actually quite chill, but it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. Like, actually blessing sand at one point, I swear, was about 6.5 to 7 mil per hour. And at that point, like, that outperformed quite a lot of high level money making methods. So Do I think it'll go back to that point anytime soon? Maybe not soon, but I do think over the sort of year it will pick up in terms of how much it's making in terms of profit as well. One thing I would say about sand, whether it's extra fine or blessed, is it's quite a low volume item at times. So if you are going to sell it, check profits, check margins, but also like hold your price as well. If you're doing like this and just turn it over continuously, you can have it selling in the Grand Exchange while you're continuing to bless more sand. And hopefully, while you're blessing that sand, it can sell while you're doing this as well. Don't instant sell this item. It does have a chance of like spiking at points. So currently, actually buying the extra fine sand is 11.3k. And don't forget, if you're a higher level player as well, actually crushing the sandstone using telekinetic grind is a fantastic moneymaker. You're talking sort of 20 to 30 mil per hour if you can get the volume of sandstone needed. And then you are then blessing it to sand. You're only making a little bit now, which is why the profit's sort of gone down a lot. But 500 GP per sand, and to be fair, the prayer XP isn't horrific if you were starting this on a brand new account as well. But hold the price. Try and see if you can get the price a little bit higher than the actual mid price, and you're making more GP per sand. And then if you can get through the volume as well, definitely look at doing that as well. But for a starter level, with only level 20 prayer, this is actually really good at 2.5 mil per hour and semi-AFK as well. But what I would recommend, keep an eye on this price. Keep an eye on this on the wiki money making sort of sheet we go through in the monthly videos, and wait for it to spike. Once it spikes, this can be a great way for you to sort of take a little break from the account, have it sat here, and basically just bless the sand away. So it is good, just not as good as it used to be, or probably will be in the future as well. But keep an eye on it, and I'm sure it will spike at some point as well. So finally, for the final money making method, I'm actually really happy that this has come back as something which has gone back into huge profit. So I mentioned in the first video that magic was a great way to train earlier on because it will give you higher tier money making methods later on. Now, one of the things you can do is bones to bananas. Bones to bananas is one of those methods which on escaping free to play really pushed us to get to the next tier of money making and escape free to play so quickly. With level 15 magic and being able to buy a full invo of bones, we can convert these into bananas. Now, bananas have multiple uses. Again, you can sort of say it's play your own farmish, again, feeding the animals, but also it's used for the ape toll spell and some other stuff and quest lines as well. So it does have a niche and to be able to be bought for certain things as well. But we've just turned that into a full invo of 8.5k from about 6.3. So 2.2k profit per invo, and all it's really cost us is a nature root. Now again, members, it's easier because you can use an elemental battle staff, so you're not having to buy earths or waters. If you are non-members, and this method is for non-members as well, you'll have to have sort of a stack of either water runes or earth runes. I believe earth runes are significantly cheaper, so water staff, earth runes in the invo, and you can just do this as well. Now, the point of this method and why you can make upwards of 4.5 mil per hour is sheerly speed. You need to get this set up to a point where you've got this spell on your action bar and you've got it set up for a preset as well, and you just need to continuously do it. From experience, you can absolutely fly through a massive amount of bones per hour, roughly about 75k bones you can do per hour. Now, if you don't have enough GP to do that many bones, that is absolutely fair enough, and you don't actually need to. Do as many bones as you can afford, sell them on a Grand Exchange, and whether you go and do one of the other two methods we've done in this video, or go and do anything from the combat video, or anything else you want to do in the game, you can have those bananas selling to then rebuy the bones and then do it in different stints. So when you've got enough bones to do a massive stint, get in the zone and then get it on the action bar and then get in that flow of creating the bananas in a nice and efficient way, and you'll make massive profit as well. And while you're doing this and while you're making 4.5 mil per hour turning these bones into bananas, you're also getting magic XP as well, which with all these money making method videos we do, don't forget, yes, we're here for the money, but also the XP will really benefit your account. A full hour of doing bones to bananas is 70k magic XP per hour, and that's a good way to level up your account's magic stat. And with leveling up magic especially, which is why I tell so many people to focus on magic as an early stage, is you'll only unlock spells and different things which will make you more profit in the long run as well. Different forms of enchanting, both jewelry and bolts. Magic really is the one combat skill which links so many different money making methods up and makes you more profit in the long term as well. So really good way to make some GP. Used it on escaping free to play quite successfully in the first season, which, to be fair, I'll make sure to drop a link if you guys wanted to see what I did there. I did a lot of crafting and bones to bananas. but I did it in a way where while I was waiting for either my bones to buy or my bananas to sell, I was off doing other stuff just so you're keeping that GP stack working up and just trying to be efficient with your time when you play the game. You want to make sure that whenever you're on the game, you're making progress and you're not sat at the bank, kind of how I am now, waiting for stuff to happen as well. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If I've missed any sort of low-level money-making methods off that you guys do, drop in the comments, let me know. I'm more than happy to make some more of these videos in the next couple of months. I want to sort of like split them up a bit more over the year as well, because I know a lot of you guys are lower level, mid-level players, and I want to make sure I hit that content which you guys can do as well. This channel is not all about high-level gameplay. I want to make sure there's enough low-level, mid-level, and all the levels around just to cover whatever you guys want to see as well. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.